Guys, I'm back with my women's comments video. You guys like my thumbnail? I decided to do the Bella's first photo shoot together with and do their singles pictures for the WWE Evolution just to show how far they've come. Like, who would have thought that those two girls that tried out for Divas Church that didn't make it, one of them would co-main event SummerSlam with Stephanie McMahon, and the other one would be the Long Training Divas champion and would be main eventing the first ever all women's pay-per-view with Ronda Rousey, and that both of them were the last three in the Women's Royal Rumble. Like, you can't ever predict that. So I love that I'm able to say that about my fave. So let's get into the comments. Gorilla Position said the people saying these two don't deserve to main event Evolution because they've done nothing for the women's revolution. This match was announced and there was a huge surge, which basically means increase of ticket sales at the Nassau Coliseum, expected to sell out. Big stars create bigger platforms for all. Simple. Totally agree. And this is how you know, once again, smarks don't know business. Everyone knows that I take what Dave Meltzer says with a grain of salt, but there are certain times where he's right, and this might be one of them. And no, I'm not just saying this because of my fave. Multiple sources that are reliable have said this, and he was the last person to say it. So because of that, I'm willing to believe him on this. How Ronda and Nikki affected ticket sales, according to Dave Meltzer. The announcement of Ronda versus Nikki led to a surge in ticket sales for Evolution. So he basically confirmed what Gorilla Position said and said that it led to an increase. As of today, there's only 20 tickets left, and those might not even still be there. So it's pretty much sold out. So, and a lot of that is in big because of Nikki versus Ronda. So, yeah. And then someone said, who thought it was a bad idea to put the most well-known women's wrestler against one of the most well-known athletes? Like, hello, and she's saying it sarcastically. Like, who the fuck thought that it was a bad idea to do that? Oh yeah, no one. Because they're smart. It's money. And also, when it came to how many people were complaining about the Battle Royal and the 6-woman tag, this is how I felt when I first saw it, but I'm gonna explain how I feel about it at the end. Seeing so many people complain is making me feel like I shouldn't be excited for the show. Should I just trash the show? Like so many divas have said, if I don't hate the show, then I'm not a real diva fan or a real women's wrestling fan. I'm like, do I want it to have been booked better and for it to be about the women? Of course. But this is something I've wanted since I was 3, and I'm not going to stop supporting it because it's booked bad. If that's the case, I would have stopped supporting the women when I first started watching. And I feel that way. There's no way in hell I'm going to blame the women and bash the women over booking. And that's the thing that Smarks need to realize. Y'all need to start doing that shit to creative and motherfucking the people up front. Okay, because sometimes the women don't take what they're given and make it better. But most of the times they do. So because of that, I'm not going to bash the women. I'm not. And like Charlotte and Nikki said, they're not guaranteed to have a women's pay-per-view next year. So they need to knock this one out of the park. And I have every ounce in my being, positivity, that sounded so weird, but I don't care, that they will. And then when it came to the Battle Royal, someone said, they said 50 plus women. Seems pretty clear they knew a Battle Royal would happen. And I think that's definitely true. I think it is. Um, I knew that there was going to be a battle royal. I knew that because it's 50 plus women. Not trying to be funny. We don't know how long the card is. Wrestling fans, attention spans are the size of gnats. So there was probably going to be at most like 10 matches on the card. Plus, there's also probably going to be an announcement by Stephanie. There might be some other shit. So I expected for there to be a battle royal. And not trying to be funny, the card that they put together is pretty much the card that I envisioned. So maybe that's why I'm not too mad about it. Maybe that's why I wasn't too upset. And why I don't feel like it's just this horrible, most worst thing ever. Because I expected this to be the card. This is the first time that they're doing this. They don't want to jam pack it, especially when there's probably going to be a big announcement and there's probably and they want to give all the matches a decent time. We don't know how long the show is going to be. Probably like 4 or 5 hours. So 7 matches, 3 of them are title matches. One of them is the Mae Young Classic. So you know that these matches are going to get a decent amount of time. Unless you want 48 2-minute matches, this is the ideal card. Sorry. And even if they were to have over 10 matches, 4 of those will probably be on the pre-show anyway, which y'all would complain about. So it's like, would I rather them be in would I rather SmackDown women be in a meaningless 8-woman tag? Or would I rather them be in a battle royal for a title shot? I'd take the battle royal. But yeah. Also, fans wanting past women to return and wrestle or make an appearance. Here's what you guys don't realize. Sometimes I feel like fans are selfish. These people have lives. Once they retired from the WWE, they did not stop living their life. Their life continued. They have kids, they have families, they have careers. Okay? Someone like Jazz or AJ did not want to come to the show. They asked Sable to come. She did not want to come. Okay? Someone like Beth, who is just recovering from her dad dying, may not want to wrestle. She may want to do commentary. Okay? Someone like Eve may not she probably wanted to come, we don't know. Okay? Like, also, we don't know if there's going to be surprise appearances. We don't know. So it's like people need to stop thinking about themselves sometimes and start thinking about the fact that these people have lives. Okay? These people aren't just all in tune with WWE. The reason why they're able to call back the Bellas and Trisha Lita so much is because they're still in tune with WWE. They still do ambassador shit. They're still on shows with WWE. They still do signings and things like that. That's why they always call back certain people. Everybody else, they have lives. So while they may want some of them to come, that want might not be received, or they might be busy and they can't just drop and pick up and they can't just drop everything. So people need to think about that too. And then someone talked about the card. She said that people complain about the fake card when the real one is everyone else throwing a true about a royal. And someone replied and said, people will complain regardless instead of just being happy that the women of WWE are being showcased. For all we know, the Battle Royal may end up being the best match on the card. And that's the thing. This is why I don't judge shit before I watch it. Because if there's anything I've learned being a diva women's wrestling fan since I was 3 years old is the women have always had the cards stacked against them, yet somehow they always manage to deliver. And I feel that way with this card. Could it have been booked better? Yeah. But with what we have, I expect a great freaking card match wise. And I expect for every single match to show out and do amazing. So it's like that person said, that match could possibly steal the show. I know that's not going to happen, but there's probably going to be spots in that match that are going to make the crowd be like, wow, and shit like that. So it's like, people need to stop judging shit before they see it. It's like the men at AfterBuzz on SmackDown when they automatically heard Battle Royal, when they automatically heard Red Carpet, they got pissed off because shit does not appeal to them. They need to realize that they are not the only fan base. That is appeal to the women and to the people that watch Total Divas and Total Bellas. Just like them airing the special after Total Divas was able to get fans to tune into the show that probably was only going to watch a couple of matches. Now they want to watch the whole show and they might want to watch the pre-show. So once again, I don't judge shit before I see it, because when you judge shit before you see it, you set your expectations up too high, and then when it doesn't meet them, you want to bash them. But just for me, I go into certain things with not no expectations, but I go into certain things with a level playing field. And because of that, my expectations are normally met, because booking wise I go into it levelly, but women's match quality and story wise, it's high, because I know that these women can show out and be amazing. So yeah. A Smark once again complained about Nikki's online promos as a heel, even though they love it when Becky and AJ and all those girls did it. And this, I feel like, was a perfect response. Ciampa thought he was right because fans were ready to replace him. At least that's how he saw it. Santos was ready to sacrifice half of the population because there was not another way, except there totally was. Tyler Durden, I don't know who that is, had a perfect theology to the way society works, except that's not how it works. The villain has to fundamentally be wrong. Nikki's not there. Ronda dragged into a equation a personal relationship that had been purposely dealt with privately and had nothing to do with the feud. Nikki's right to say in storyline that Ronda crossed the line. She did. I agree with Jensen. It's an odd angle for a feud. Yes, you can say, well, Ronda was stabbed in the back. This is just revenge. But revenge should be equal. And the babyface shouldn't resort to pettiness like this. Ronda shouldn't be saying petty things like this. She should beat them the fuck up. Now, if Nikki said, oh, well, Ronda's partner is insert scandalous remark here, then Ronda said this, and then Nikki went on to throw a hissy fit over the line, then Nikki would be right in her head but wrong in reality because she'd be a hypocrite. What this is Nikki beat up her friend of like a month, then her personal life got dragged into the spotlight for public mockery, also dragging Cena's personal life into the spotlight in the process, so an unnecessary victim, which I said in my review for the show. I just think Nikki has a right to have an issue with this in the storyline, and I shouldn't say that, and I shouldn't think that. I should understand her view, but say, no, you deserve it because of this. I don't think she deserved that. I think she just deserves to get beaten up. I think it would have been fine if Nikki went online to say, I'm such a victim here. I've not done anything and she's harassing me. She thinks she was right because she feels justified in her heel turn, but would also clearly be in the wrong. As it stands, she's kind of right. And that's really poor storytelling over a simple former friend betrayal storyline. Like, imagine if Ciampa did anything to did nothing to Candice, and then Candice just kicked him in the dick, and he go, I didn't do anything to you, and she goes, well, no, but fuck you. No, the story is great because Chopper is a monster, but I get why he thinks he's a victim, why he's obsessed. A villain is empathetic, not sympathetic. In kayfabe, Nikki is sympathetic. Totally fucking agree. Totally fucking agree. And what people don't realize is, in this story, the roles have kind of reversed in a way, where a lot of people see Nikki as the face and Rhonda as the heel because the face decided to bring in a personal relationship. Because the face decided to bring in something that had nothing to do with the story simply because she didn't have anything else to go after them for. It's kind of like with the Paige and Bella Twin storyline leading to WrestleMania 31, where by the end of that storyline, a lot of people were on the Bella side because it's like, well, yeah, you don't have to be from the indies and sleep, eat, and breathe wrestling to love wrestling and to be passionate about it. You could have other business attributes. You could wear nice dresses and nice clothes and be a girly girl and love wrestling and be passionate about it. And that's how I feel with this storyline. Nikki is a heel, yeah, but she's a sympathetic heel. And she could be the face in the story if you want to go that route. It's not like a Becky Lynch where because Charlotte was put in a match, she didn't put herself in a match. She was put in a match where she was granted a title shot. She won the title, and then Becky turned heel. It's not that type of situation where Becky feels like Charlotte's just stealing her spotlight, and she's completely ignoring the fact that Charlotte was put in that position. She didn't put herself there. Whereas Rhonda literally brought in a personal relationship that had nothing to do with shit. Nikki was talking about the boundaries and the doors and the barriers that she and her sister broke down for women's wrestling, and how the women of the past have helped make that championship that Rhonda is wearing happening. And all Rhonda could come up with is to drag her relationship like everyone else isn't in a, like every other women's superstar isn't in a fucking relationship with a wrestler. And you want me to cheer that? It's that type of thing, you know? So yeah. But I totally agree with that comment. This is about kayfabe. Kayfabe is dead. We know it's dead. They know it's dead. I don't really see the point in trying to cling on to it. As long as they remain in character on the main WWE shows, then I'm happy for them to pull the curtain back all the way outside of that. Getting to know the people behind the characters only helps build a connection with them, in my opinion. And I totally agree with that. Totally agree. That's what made people connect with Nikki so much. That's what made people connect with Naomi and Natalya and Lana so much, you know? And this is about Becky as a heel. She tried to walk out of 2 title matches in 4 days and used a belt shot to retain her title in one of them. That's not shades of gray behavior. I'm getting tired of but she's a badass. She's stone cold. They're making her Trina reactions to actions that are anything but. Totally agree. Becky's a heel. Y'all need to get the fuck over it. Just say you like her and let it be that. And then someone said, I'm tired of this Ronda stuff because she says this stuff as a face. Like, I'm supposed to cheer as she tails down another woman when we're about to go to a women empowerment pay-per-view. Okay, totally agree. Another person said, and mind you, these are people that aren't fans of the Bellas saying this shit. So Ronda got even some smarks rooting for Nikki. That's how you know that promo, I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah. tearing down other women for being proud of building successful careers outside of WWE. This is who we're supposed to be cheering. No. So, another person. Someone said that the highlight of my night was walking around WWE Boston. This is before the show, dressed head to toe as Nikki Bella tonight, and there was a group of guys yelling, "Wait, aren't you a wrestler?" And the lady in the bathroom who loved my outfit. That's really freaking awesome. And like I said, the Bellas are, Nikki especially, is the most noticeable person, women's wrestler, outside of WWE. I'm not saying Ronda, because Ronda is the most known women's athlete behind Serena Williams. But yeah, that's another reason. Some idiot, some site literally used a WWE poll and Becky and Charlotte's fake fight at the PC as reason why Becky and Charlotte should main event Evolution. 43% was Becky versus Charlotte, and the 57% added together was all the other matches. So 57% of people would still rather see one of those other matches more than Becky versus Charlotte. They literally had to make Becky versus Charlotte brawl at the PC to get any type of media attention, which didn't work because no one on Twitter was talking about it, and they were talking about Nikki and Ronda going back and forth. I found out about it because of one of the wrestling pages I follow on IG says something. And even in those comments, they were talking about Nikki and Ronda. Okay? Meanwhile, Nikki and Ronda's IG and Twitter promos are getting mainstream attention. So what do you think will happen when their match... So what do you think will happen when it comes to their match? Especially if they deliver, which I definitely think that they will. I'm just saying. Like, how the fuck do you use a poll? Like, that's dumb. And then someone also said when it comes to Becky and Charlotte, Evolution will be the 4th match in a month. Okay? It's not fresh, and it doesn't have the mainstream power. Specifically, that doesn't include Ronda. So that's why it won't main event. They got a stipulation, so at least that makes it different somehow. Totally freaking agree. Totally agree. Like, don't get me wrong, their matches have been fine, but I've been more entertained by the Mae Young Classic matches than their feud. Not even trying to be funny. And, like, not trying to be funny, the 3 weeks that it's set up, the 3 weeks that Nikki and Ronda have set up their feud have been way more entertaining than Charlotte and Becky's feud altogether. And it's been going on since SummerSlam. So 2 months ago, Nikki and Ronda's feud officially started 3 weeks ago. And yet that feud is more entertaining to a hell of a lot of people more than a 2-month feud. And like they said, their matches aren't really anything special. The only thing that really gets me excited for this match, to be honest, is the fact that it's the last woman standing. Someone said, I want to be positive about Evolution. I'm excited about it, but as a fan and as a woman and a wrestling fan, there's so much to be angry about. It's okay to voice these opinions and demand that WWE do better with their women talent. Totally agree. Totally agree with that. Someone also said it's funny to me how after the Bella's heel turn, babyface Ronda has become more and more evil and hateful and truly embodying the heel role in this feud. I totally agree, and I explained that earlier. And then someone else said, I'm realizing I enjoy things more when I just enjoy it. With that being said, just watch Evolution on Sunday and enjoy it. 10-year-old me would be hyped for an all-women show. The gag is, it just may exceed our expectations. Enjoy the show and support our girls. Totally agree. Totally agree. Don't bash the show before you watch it. Don't judge the show before you watch it. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. You might find, like she said, it'll probably exceed our expectations because all these women are talented and most of them, if not all of them, do amazing with their back up against the wall and with WWE gives them shit. So yeah. And this is about the Riot Squad versus Sasha, Bayley, and Natty. As disappointed as it is, at least it shows that they trust the Riot Squad. They faced 3 of their top women at Super Showdown, and now they get their own Evolution match, and they're not in the Battle Royal. They've come far from people seeing them as only Absolution copycats, which I totally agree with. Totally agree, and I definitely agree with that. It shows that they trust them, and that, you know what? On top of the fact that, like I said, Sasha was probably, because she got injured a month before and they couldn't do anything and they couldn't do a real storyline with her, this was the only logical thing to do with her besides the Battle Royal. And no one wanted to see her in the Battle Royal, so this was the most logical thing. And the Riot Squad has been built up really well like the last couple of months. So yeah. And also this is about the card. The card isn't that bad. We got 3 singles championship matches. Nikki versus Ronda, Becky versus Charlotte, last woman standing, and Shayna versus Kairi. We got a battle royal that will grant an opportunity for the championship in the future. We got Trish and Lita versus Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, and that's going to be a fun little tag team match. We got a filler match, but it includes Sasha, but it includes Sasha, who people didn't want in the Battle Royal. So, totally agree. And even that match has a stake of like the Riot Squad want to take down the women that helped pioneer this pay-per-view. So they want to take down the women that helped make this pay-per-view happen. Perfect story for the Riot Squad. I'm not gonna get into it, but the fake Brie fans, please shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, honestly. Nikki has a match because she's been more relevant since their return, and she brings the star power. Okay, that's why she has the match against Ronda. Once again, do people not realize? You know what? I'm just gonna read this real quick. WWE Live, November 8th, 2018, in Frankfurt, Maine. So this is their Germany tour. WWE Live. This, y'all see it? This is what the card is. Now, it says subject to change. And naturally, the Shield versus Braun, Drew, and Dolph, that's going to change. And I told you guys this in my last comments, where it said Natalya and Ember versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Bella with Mickie James. Okay? Like, not trying to be funny, Brie can't do house shows. Brie has a fucking baby. Brie had to cancel on multiple business signings and multiple business meetings because of Birdie. So why would WWE put all of their ducats into her basket when they know that she has a child and that child comes first? She's not even able to do house shows. So let's say that they do have a big story planned for her, but because something happened with Birdie, she has to fulfill that plan, and that throws the storyline all out of whack. They don't want to deal with that. and know that they're not going to deal with that with Nikki, on top of the fact that, let's be real, Nikki is the biggest star. Okay? And once again, let's not act like Brie didn't have her single story with Daniel Bryan and her pay-per-view match with Daniel last month. Okay? She did. Let's not do that. Let's not be that, okay? And like I said, WWE was always probably going to have the Bella Twins have a single storyline. Both of them have a single storyline, okay? And that storyline was probably always going to be Brie and Bryan versus Miz and Maurice, just to cool off the Miz and Bryan feud, so that they don't have 3 singles matches in a month. And they were probably, and once the women's Evolution thing got announced and the Bellas were set and ready to go, they were probably always going to do Nikki versus Ronda. So I don't know why people are so shocked by that. Like, please stop. And I guarantee you that after this, the Bellas, depending on if tag titles happen, the Bellas are probably going to win those. Also, by the way, Nikki did an interview yesterday, and she said that Evolution is going to be the greatest performance of her career. She says she has a new move set. She has a new game plan. It's going to be a new Nikki. And with Brie by her side, there might be some tricks. So I'm even more excited for her match with Ronda now. But yeah, I don't know why people thought that Brie was going to get a title shot when clearly her story was always going to be with Daniel, when Daniel literally credited Brie as the reason why he was able to come back, and how Maurice literally got involved in the finish at SummerSlam before their mixed tag match the next month. Like, duh. It was always going to be like that. Nikki was most likely always going to have a title feud, and Brie was always going to have her feud with Daniel. Duh. And also someone said that, but like I said, after this, most likely the Bells are going to go after the tag team titles if they happen, so y'all complaining about nothing. Brie got her single storyline before Nikki. Now it's Nikki's turn. Get the fuck over it. Someone on Instagram said Nikki versus Ronda is what's best for business. Plus, Nikki won't be there as long as Becky or Charlotte, so might as well let her main event before her neck stops her. Can't wait for this match. Totally agree. On top of that, let's be real here. Nikki is one of the few women that, despite a neck injury, she don't hold back. So you know that, and we saw that in her run last year. She don't hold back. So you know that her and Ronda can get really physical with each other, and she'll be okay. So yeah. But I really do hope that the Bellas are, stay. Sorry guys, it's dry skin. I really do hope that the Bellas stay after Evolution though. I really do. Especially since they just added, like, I don't know how many fucking shirts to their damn website. And they just added making history and new shirts about WWE to their Birdie Bee stuff. So I really do hope that they stay. Sorry guys, it's dry skin and it's annoying the hell out of me. Okay, a site did an article basically bashing the pay-per-view and the build-up leading up to Evolution and the pay-per-view itself without seeing it, and comparing it to how they built up Super Showdown and Crown Jewel. And this comment, in my opinion, was a perfect response. Let's look at the most recent card and compare it with Evolution. Super Showdown. New Day versus The Bar. Charlotte versus Becky. Bobby and John versus Elias and Kevin. Iconics versus Naomi and Asuka, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, Ron and the Bellas versus the Riot Squad, Buddy Murphy versus Cedric, Shield versus Braun, Drew and Dolph, and Daniel versus the Miz, and Triple H versus the Undertaker. On this card, that's 10 matches. On this card, we have 5 out of the 10 matches that didn't have stakes, including the main event. Most called this a glorified house show leading to the event itself, and reviews haven't been all that great since. One was argued to be predictable but delivered the goods in the ring as expected. Second, the SmackDown Women's title was labeled as a thrown into the card as a predictable ending with Becky sneaking away with the title somehow. This was a short match, leaving people wanting more. Only match on the card to get the men involved and Cena a decent place to run. He literally only did six moves of doom, promoted at the end, and that's it. The highlight of this angle was leading to the Bobby heel turn. 4 only on the card to get the local iconics a nice pop, but with the story that has since disappeared. Good lord. 5 ended their angle to a solid feud. 6 meaningless tag to get Ron and Nikki on the same team to lead to a heel turn in the Evolution main event. 7 local Buddy Murphy wins the title we haven't seen on a pay-per-view since. So only on the card for the Australian to have a spot and a nice win. Strong angle at the time and delivered in the ring, but left many people wondering what the actual goal was. Short match that when it ended, no one reacted to. A match that has been rather unpopular here. Now let's look at Evolution. Sasha, Bayley, and Natalya versus the Riot Squad. Women's Battle Royal. Trish and Lita versus Alexa and Mickey. Mae Young Classic Finals. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. Becky versus Charlotte. Nikki versus Ronda. And the NXT UK title match if it happens. Only 2 out of the 7 or 8 matches are without stakes, and those are the 2 tag matches. The only match that is arguably lacking story is the 6-woman tag. There has been a story, and it's a mid-card match, and I feel like it's the right position considering the story. Hold on for a second, guys. Okay. And I definitely agree with that. Yes, many of the performers could be in the title mix, but not everyone can be in the title mix at the same time. So this is a good place to work. It also is likely to deliver some of the better wrestling of the night. The Women's Battle Royal was something everyone assumed would happen even when they announced 50 women would be involved. So I don't get why people are upset. I think the SmackDown women complaining thought they had enough story where they would have a separate match. But I wonder if Naomi, Asuka, Lana, and the Iconics prefer working a tag match without any stakes over being in a match looking for a title shot, which I said a few minutes ago. Would you rather be in a tag match with no stakes, or would you rather be in a match that grants you a title shot? That can be either kayfabe or not. Both scenarios will likely involve them possibly getting a push to the title. Trish and Lita versus Alexa and Mickey is honestly one of the best ways to use veteran talent with a decent story. I hope Alexa can compete because Mickey and Alicia isn't the same for this story. Then we have nothing but title matches, including 2 of the top programs in WWE today. And until the Dean heel turn, I'd say the 2 top stories in all of WWE. Basically, this event has more going for them than the last pay-per-view, and I'd say is on par as Hell in a Cell, which I agree with. Hell in a Cell, in my opinion, was a really good pay-per-view, and Super Showdown was a really good pay-per-view. I don't know why the fuck people hate those pay-per-views. I thought they were really good. I thought that storyline wise and match wise both delivered very well. So I don't know what the fuck people's issues were with those shows. And yet it's not enough for the negative Nancy's here. You set your own expectations higher, and now you're the ones paying for it. Instead, I expect an average pay-per-view and be giving more than I expected in terms of matches in that matter. And I totally agree. If you set your expectations too fucking high, especially when you set your expectations too fucking high and then you judge before the show happens, you're likely gonna get let down. And that's your own damn fault. So what I do is I'd say I hope it's an average WWE pay-per-view, and right now I feel like it's above average, and I feel like it'll deliver because the women always deliver. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I am going to watch a few movies, and then I will be back tomorrow with my pay-per-view talk. Bye.